Hot Facts with Robert Reese, people. We got a great one on this episode of the Boardroom. One of the most controversial figures in the whole gig economy. Leader of no tip, no trip. Leader of sayings like miserable human beings. Don't move your car for this and that. My man has created, he has a whole bunch of people under him that copied exactly what he does to create channels. We have Pedro DoorDash Santiago, the leader of the no tip, no trip era that is now going into a new era. Pedro says he's changing up his thing to adapt to this new era. We got him in here. Also, we have someone that mimics and copies just about everything he has done. Someone that says that if he can do it, I can do it. Same attitude when it comes into the orders with people and things like that. Same exact philosophies. Same exact sponsors. We're going to see how these channels pair up. We have Sarah Elizabeth. Both these channels, I'm telling you, they do it in a way to where it's all about them and nothing else. They also have a pretty good amount of subscribers that go to their channel. Are these channels the way you should do your channel? Should you follow the leader? We don't know, but we'll find out on this episode of the Boardroom. Let's go take a look. This is powered by Social Blade, everyone. Let's take a look at these channels. Sarah Elizabeth is a B- and Pedro is a whopping D- channel, people. Now take a look at this. Now we look at this. Pedro has 68,000 subs there. He's in the blue. Sarah has 28,000. She's in the red. Okay. You look at this chart and how it's going up there. Okay. We got Pedro has 1,900 uploads. He's under Hot Facts there. She has 338. Now Pedro is the leader of the no tip, no trip movement. And Sarah Elizabeth is someone who joined the team, and said, let's go ahead and do this. Now, Pedro, while being the leader of no tip, no trip, he has done something that a lot of people has not done yet in the gig economy. He has a following where people say, this is what we want to do. We're not going to take any orders that we don't want to take or anything else like that. Okay, we're going to do it in a much different way. That way has been working for a little bit. Now let's look at these. We're looking at these views. Okay, Pedro's views went all the way up, and as you see, they took a major hit and came back down. Now Pedro was involved in something that got him demonetized from YouTube because they went and they committed fraud by taking subscribers and views from other people in other platforms, thinking that they were not going to know what's going on. That's why that jump is there. As you see, Sarah Elizabeth has a steady climb. Okay, has a steady climb. Now they're both no tip, no trip, but it shows that while one person did not do everything that the other person did, they are still climbing in the right direction. You get 17 subs a day for Pedro, 37 subs a day for Sarah Elizabeth. Pedro gets a whopping minus 162,000 views a day. She gets 8,000 views a day. His is minus because they took those views away because of the fraudulent activity. That's why that happened. That's why the numbers are down like that, and that's why he is a D- channel. The channel is not truthful, is what they say. Now look at the projections here. The future projections actually show Sarah Elizabeth gonna be able to overcome Pedro and have more subscribers than him. This is what, it's showing here. Now check this out. Let's look at the future. It's gonna show us views for the future. And as you see, it shows Pedro is going to go all the way down and do a flat line while she continues to grow. People are like, well, how is that possible? Well, when you're dealing with the algorithm and you're dealing with content and being on social media, they take every aspect of what you do in and they actually put it into these calculations. Committing fraud has hurt his channel so much he went from a B channel all the way to a D- channel. Now, he is the leader of No Tip, No Trip, and as you see, if he would have stayed course, he would have been in the same place as Sarah Elizabeth. Now, when you go back and look at this, they were not too far off. You see how they're going? They were not too far off, but Pedro got tired of being surrounded by other people that he thought he was better than. He said, let's go ahead and do something else, and he took a huge jump. That's why they are both D-, but check this out. They are both people channels. Now, being that they are both people channels, Sarah Elizabeth followed the whole game plan that Pedro had set up, which is why she is a people channel also. We're going to see, does copying a channel get you your own success? And if it works, why did the leader not stay on course? We'll go ahead and break that down. This is going to be pretty interesting because it actually shows that the student is going to pass up the teacher. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this. Let's look at Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Now, Pedro's came a long way, from 1 subscriber to 68,000. He does a lot of things very well that a lot of content creators should do. He has memberships, he does videos about every day, he has tons of short videos, and he also does live streams. He interacts with the people all the time. That's one thing that he does do well. Most content creators should follow that if you want to have a successful channel. Now, take a look at this, 391,000 views. He used to come in humble, but then he turned into the leader of No Tip, No Trip, as you can see here. Now, we're going to scroll down this thing, and you'll be able to see that once he figured out, I can do No Tip, No Trip, call people miserable, and call customers clowns, he found that a lot of people out there liked it. So he said, this is a new niche that I'm going to do. As you see that, he's on most of these No Tip, No Trip videos here that are there, okay? Now, he has a huge following of content creators who are up there also, okay? I have been against No Tip, No Trip. Pedro has been in many debates with me. He's been in many debates against me. He's been in many debates just about debates. Okay, now once he became No Tip, No Trip, many of the content creators out there said, we want to follow suit. He's getting a lot of views and people seem to find humor in how we treat customers. Now, a lot of the pandemic drivers said that we agree with Pedro because of the money we were making. Because he put this out, so everyone can see, most of those drivers start tuning in and subscribing to him. Most of those drivers started to accept and adapt to his terminology. They started using all of his terms, and then it blew into this huge phenomenon. Okay, he's been accused of using something called the glitch. Okay, here's a video here where they are speaking on the glitch. The glitch was a way for people to go ahead and earn extra money by cheating DoorDash. Now, many of the top content creators in the DoorDash space all follow Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Many of these content creators were also using the glitch to cheat and make money, which in return, it allowed them to achieve greater success in terms of subscribers, views, and money. But Pedro did take a hit, everyone. He got so greedy that he decided to go ahead and steal content from TikTok from other creators to make money for himself. Now, while doing that, the other content creators, they did follow suit. One by the name of Kim Side Money Plans, who put in a disclaimer in one of her videos and said, be careful if you're using content from TikTok. That's one thing Pedro put out there. They all followed suit and they all start gaining a lot more views. Well, during this time, Pedro DoorDash Santiago got caught. They took away millions of views and it made his channel go down. Now, being someone that loves the controversy, he says, well, that's part of what I do. Did it actually hurt his channel by getting deactivated, monetarily wise, by YouTube? It looks like it has not, because the views are still coming in. They're coming in slower, but they are still coming in. He's dubbed himself to be Mr. Controversy. Does being controversial mean that your channel is actually a success? If you do things and they take millions of views from you, does that mean that you are successful? Well, in his eyes, it means yes, it does. He's done everything you can do. He's sponsored by many of the sponsors that cover the gig world, and many of the followers from No Tip, No Trip, they are sponsored by the same company. Now, he has taken these people under his wing, and they seem to follow him all the way. It looks like he is going in a way to, if there's going to be a mistake made, he wants to do it so that his other people can go ahead and not do it and still gain some success. Does that work for everyone? We don't know. But here, the next person that we're going to talk about, Sarah Elizabeth, is one of the people that followed Pedro and did everything step by step. It's also a No Tip, No Trip channel who does a lot of complaining like Pedro does. Let's see if this works out. Now, as you see, Sarah has many titles, and many play off the attitude and narrative of her coach and leader, Pedro DoorDash Santiago. Now, she also has subscribers, the memberships. She's sponsored by the same companies, the Buckle, the Solo, and there's a couple more. Okay, she's also one of the main No Tip, No Trippers. I mean, to the heart. She has taken this game plan and the step book. I said that many times because she has followed every step one by one that Pedro DoorDash Santiago has put out there. Now, since everyone is their own individual, there are some things that she does differently than Pedro DoorDash Santiago. She does not interact with her viewers and people that follow her as often. She does not do live streams that much, not really into answering a lot of questions and things like that. So whenever you do catch her in a live, try to communicate. But I do think that she has learned from Pedro that if I stay away from live episodes, I don't have to answer some of the questions that these people want to have answered. All I want to do is go ahead and show them on how you can make money. Now, she does the apps sparingly, and she does what a lot of people out there do. She has a very low acceptance rate, so a lot of people are able to catch on to that. Also, she has the schedule to get into work. She shows that, so she is being relative to the people that spend time watching her. Now, while delivering the same message, the people in the gig world can feel comfortable watching the channel, okay? Now, the people that are being relative with her now can feel it a little bit more. Being that she is a woman, she gets another demographic that some of these male content creators cannot play on. Now, some of these women feel like her also. There is a huge population of No Tip, No Trip women drivers out there. Now, these No Tip, No Trip women drivers, they pretty much do it the same. And outside of Kim Sai Money Plans and right along with Bree, they would consider Sarah Elizabeth the Pedro equivalent for the women over there on the No Tip, No Trip side. Meaning that even though someone else has more subscribers and views, she is someone that is there putting it out there and doesn't care what people say. Now, she is known for being clickbaitish, is what they would say. But from a all the way standpoint, looking out and going in, that is what the MO that Pedro, the leader of the No Tip, No Trip, put out there. Now, she has had success, okay? She's sponsored, she gets views, she gets a lot of other things, okay? But there's one thing that she does that many other of the content creators don't do. She's going down with the ship. She's not one that flip-flops and goes away from no tip, no trip. She is someone that will still call them a clown, call them miserable. She is not going away from that. Now, there is a huge amount of people from the Pedro and everybody else over there on that side that loves this type of content. So the viewership will always be there, meaning that the channel's success is going to be steady as what it showed on the charts. Now, by doing this, can you go back to doing anything else? We don't know. We don't know at all. But these people seem to think that they can do it this way. The only thing that may be able to stop these people is this right here on the success of their channels. Is when it comes down to what you are really speaking about, the information and the education. Okay? While Sarah Elizabeth is not a top dasher, she's not reached any of the diamond or the platinum or any of the special tier system. She can't dash when she wants to, or any of that. Okay? The earn by time, earn by offer, they really can't give that much information because they decline everything. So when someone is paying attention to these channels here, you have to really pay attention to see, hey, am I getting out what I want to be watching for? Am I going to learn what I need to be learning here? These channels don't have that. These channels go ahead and they go about the complaining and saying what's not there that they should have there. And it seems that majority of the people out there, they follow that lead. Pedro DoorDash Santiago seems to not let any of the things that has happened to him bother him. He knows that he has loyal people there that will still watch. But at this same time, he is changing a little bit and he's giving you guys, you know, that you need to know some of this information. He's actually trying to achieve some of these things to put it out there because he knows you can't preach what you don't practice. Now, Sarah Elizabeth says that I'm not going that far. I'm no tip, no trip, and this is what it's going to be. I'm going to show you guys how to do it just like this. Which one is right? Which one is wrong? We don't know. They're on the same side. One knows that you got to be more credible with the information that you're putting out there. One says it's all good. All I know is this. As gig content creators out there, they both have a duty to uphold the honesty and transparency to the next person that may be watching so it can help them out wherever they may be. Now, we do know that each market is market specific on where you live, but there are some things that can cross over. Will these two end up doing more of that in the future? We don't know, but as of now, their channels are where they think they should be. Could they be higher? Yes. Could they be lower? They could possibly go lower. Is the educational value gonna go up? We don't know, but we do know this. They know how to put on a good show, and they know how to let the people watch. Okay? You can't hate on that. This is the Boardroom. Hope you like this one. This was the first one. You had the teacher and the student was projected to be higher than what the teacher is. Let's see how that plays out in the future. Thank you for watching. And check this out. If you would like to know more about what really goes on in the gig economy, do what this next clip says. You've been watching Hot Facts with Robert Reese, and this is a Hot Facts publication. Gig economy.